over here. Let me get it right. I'm multitasking. What's up, everybody?
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
Hey. What's good? What's up, General? How was your weekend, man?
Wonderful,
Wonderful,
fantastic,
fantastic,
phenomenal, and
phenomenal,
everything
and
above
everything
that.
above that.
I hear you. I hear you. I want to introduce you to my queen, and this is V. V. This is Chris, the General,
Miss V,
father of the
Miss V,
six.
Miss V,
thank you.
thank you for having me.
You have a
You have a
lovely
lovely
husband. I've seen
husband.
some
I've
of your
seen some of your
pictures on
pictures on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, I look so
You look so
happy. It's so
happy. It's so
inspiring to
inspiring to
those who,
those who,
like myself,
like
has
myself,
achieved
has
to have
achieved to have
relationships such as
relationships
y'all.
such as
So
y'all. So
he's lucky to
he's
have
lucky
you,
to
and you're
have
lucky
you,
to
and you're
have
lucky to
him.
have him.
Blessings to
Blessings
y'all.
to y'all.
We appreciate that, man, and I'm just here to bring her in tonight because we're working on some pre-production for Smart Black Woman TV, so she's going to be the host. So I'm just getting her face familiar. She's been getting out here the last couple of nights and getting more exposure on social media and things like that. So, honey, you want to say something? Should I unmute you now?
Sound too.
There you go. I unmuted you.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm here today. Something a little different. So, flavor from B. I'm here to join the team tonight to see what's going on, and I have my comments as well as we go on. So let's see how it goes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm unmuted, so we this mutant thing is something that we kind of get you got to get used to. Waiting on brother Suave to come back in the spot. Did I hear somebody just pop in? Oh, waiting for brother
That was
Suave
me
to
on the
That
come
was
other
me
in.
on the
end.
other end. My name that came back up.
Huh?
I said it's me
I
on the
said it's
other
me on the
end.
other
My
end. My
internet came
internet
back
came
up.
back up.
Oh, that's
So I'm gonna
awesome.
leave
So I'm
off
gonna
the
leave off
phone
the
and go
phone
on
and go on
computer.
computer.
If you can do that, can you go off the phone and go on the computer? Oh, are you
Yeah, just let
synced
me
Yeah,
in
in.
just
I'm
let
like
me in.
that?
I'm
backstage.
backstage.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. You know what? We was looking at those great things, and where did he go? Oh, there he is. Bam, bam. There he goes. There he goes. So how
Test,
was your
testing,
week?
testing.
I missed a couple of your lives this week, man. I've been working on this transportation company project real hard this week. So I missed them every time I turned around and looked at the phone. I said, "Oh man, I missed it probably about an hour ago." And it's just been one of those, man. How's it been going this week?
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
fantastic.
Had a
Had a
good
good
word for
word
the
for the
people.
people.
A
A
lot of
lot
my
of my
lives are
lives are
saved on
saved
the
on the
Instagram.
Instagram.
So if
So
you
if
ever
you
want
ever
to
want
go
to go
back,
back,
just look on my pages on the Instagram feed right there. So had some great discussions with some great men. One of the topics we had was just talk about manhood and fatherhood. Just things that it's not normally talked about and things that's not in the textbook. Things that's just through experience. You know what I mean? And I know I'm a younger dude, but hey, I just shoot the question out there. You know what I mean? Just to have people thinking like, dang, is that me? Or that's me. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for is that me or that's me. That's what I'm shooting for.
I got you. I got you. You know what? It's a lot of young fathers like yourself out there, just like it was when I was a young father. My son is a young father, but I think where I commend you is the fact that you do have six and you have custody of three, right?
Yep, I
yep,
have
I have
full
full
custody of my
custody of my
oldest
oldest
three,
three,
and
and
my
my
youngest
youngest
three,
three,
and
and
my
my
ex-wife and
ex-wife
I.
and I.
We're
We're
doing a
doing
good
a
job
good job
co-parenting.
co-parenting.
So
So
it's a
it's a
great
great
relationship
relationship
there.
there.
We always
We
try
always
to do
try to do
better.
better.
It's ups and downs in anything you do, but it's not crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed not to have a crazy ex-wife. She's not crazy at all. You know what I mean? So we tread, we swim, we swimming in the ocean. You know what I mean? And you can only swim so fast, and sometimes the tide is coming against you. So we both learning. So big ups to her. Big ups to her.
And that's what's good, man. Like we were speaking the last session that we were having, where sometimes the kids get lost in the sauce because of the relationship of the parents. A lot of times the kid take back seat to feelings of the parents, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So that's good to hear, man. Especially being a young couple, being young parents. That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. Like I said, I commend you because you have the responsibility that a lot of younger fathers don't have, as far as having sole custody and making sure they're taking care of their kids in that manner. So I commend you for that, young brother. I really do. And yeah, we're gonna definitely, it's always gonna be a segment that we're gonna discuss about the kids. Because I was actually reading a post today where this guy asked the question. He has a 10-year-old, and he said he lives in a rather nice neighborhood, and but he's going to be away on business, and his wife is going to be unable to drop her off at school, and the school is like a 20-minute walk. And he was saying, he does live in a good neighborhood and he feels decently comfortable, should he let her walk to school by herself? So that's something I think that we're going to get a chance to talk about in that, because I thought it was interesting. And I also believe that the cultural makeup and some of the street sense is the best way the simplest way for me to put it. I think that culturally, I think our kids has a better sense of how they handle themselves in a public situation. I think more so because they're used to, or I don't know. I just the way I feel about it. I think that we, our cultural upbringing is somewhat different. So I think my 10-year-old, I think I could trust my 10-year-old to any of my 10-year-olds I had to walk to school back then. And now it's an entirely different time. It's an entirely different time. You got those creeps over in the best neighborhoods waiting to see the kids. You know what I'm saying? So, I just thought it was a very interesting question, and, it was a lot of responses to it. And, like most parents, though, the way we love our kids, I don't care. We still wouldn't feel comfortable with them walking 20 minutes away, even though we think we feel comfortable in our neighborhood. So I just thought it was interesting. It was running across my mind at the time. But we're going to talk about some fatherhood stuff. You sent me over a couple of things I think is interesting, especially because I ran it across my wife earlier, and she was saying the question that you asked about, do men need their fathers after they're 18? And I think that that's something good, and I'm sure that she has something to say about that, because it is interesting, being an older man, and it's plenty of times I wish my daddy was around. I ain't gonna front right now. He was just like that. He had a pocket full of jewels. He always was dropping them, and he was a man's man. And we do get at our point where we wish we had that, to be able to navigate through things in life, because it get tough sometimes. It does. And if a person hasn't been through it or have seen it before, they really can't accurately tell you how to navigate through it or try to give you any type of tips. Google damn sure is not going to give you any tips on it, so that's another situation. So, being able to have that type of strength behind you and be able to get that wisdom, man, it's invaluable. So yeah, I think that, fathers above 18 need their fathers too. Men above 18 need their fathers too, even though I know in a lot of situations where, the household is ran where once they turn 18, they got to get out. They got to man up. And I can say this, as tough as my dad was, and I'm telling you, he's the only living man that ever struck fear in my heart behind God himself. And it didn't matter. He just wanted you to grow up and be a man. He did want that. But whatever support he could give you, he would be there. So it wasn't a point at 18, you got to get out. And he raised some real men, and so I think that after 18, you still need that fatherly guidance, especially if you have that life experience, good, hardworking, providing dad, because there's different types of fathers out here too. But when you have those providing fathers, the ones that really have the feeling that they are the total breadwinner and they got to take care of their household, yeah, it's a different story. It's a totally different story, and that's the mindset that a lot of younger brothers, they don't understand it because they haven't been exposed to it, and that's another unfortunate thing. That's why I like what you're doing, because that way they can get somebody's point of view about things, especially that's in their age range. And that's appreciated. That's really appreciated. But babe, yeah, we were talking about that, about men over 18 that's looking to, do they need their fathers after 18? You were talking about that earlier.
Yes, I think young men are first. They first learn. You go through something what I call a training course of how a man should conduct himself. And you start from a little boy, and there are some fathers that are a little stern with young men, and some fathers that are a little bit more heartful with their young men. But once a young man does become at the age of 18, he continues to need his father, because at that point, he's now getting ready to enter in life with hands-on training, with all of his experiences that he has, with the girlfriends, even his friends, the decisions he's making, alongside his friends. But just having a father to continue in his life, closely in his life, um, makes him feel, makes that young man comfortable and going into his manhood. And when some of them don't have that father figure, then they're out there, kind of trying to figure out a lot of things on their own. And also, they find out by uncles, they find out by other men. But every young man want that father if their father is alive, if their father has been in his life. They want that father to be alongside beside them. As a parent, a father should also want to be in his child's life, all his life. It seems as though a lot of young men today, they become 18, and the first thing a father say, "You're grown now," and a lot of them are pushed away, and they're in fear. Even though they try to be tough, and some of them try to walk on out the door, but once they get out the door, they don't know what to do. So that man being alongside them, is a big strength for them. A lot of them that lose their fathers in that communication, it's harder on that young man's life. And as a black men don't understand the disconnection that they have caused in their sons' lives. The trouble that they go through a lot of stresses, and decisions that they make sometimes are poor decisions. And because of that loss of manhood, that father figure that every young man look for to be in their lives, they don't look for their fathers to be out in their lives, especially if they've raised their children. So yes, I totally agree, with that, that, you know, sons should have their 18, 20, 30. They still should have their fathers in their lives. It's not excluding the child at all. You continue to have a relationship with something that you brought into this world, and it just saying that, just looking at life itself, what type of person, or what type of friend can you be to others, other young men, when you have your own son that's not in your life, but what influence can you be to other young men when you're not playing it in your own life? So it's very important, that we try to continue those relationships, or rekindle those relationships with young men that aren't with their fathers and don't have that connection there. So it's not for men to just turn away from their sons because they turn a certain age. Yes, we do feel as though when you get a certain age, yeah, you have to kind of let go a little bit, but that friendship should still lie, so that's my comments about it. I really do feel that, it's very important that you continue in their lives and continue to have that friendship, because a lot of young men, they do so much better when they have their fathers in their lives. And if it's a good relationship, a lot of men experience a lot of things and choices that their kids make, some in which they didn't make in the way they did, but they see it in a different light from another human being that they brought in this world, of mistakes that, the father could have made in his young life. He helped to steer the young man in a positive way, and he's able to, at that point, feel real good about himself, because he's seeing that other half of him, you know, um, do it differently. Sometimes we don't get that chance to do it differently, or act act upon it in a different way. So it's very important. It's fatherhood is something that we've lost a lot of, and I think if we do, if men do try to make these changes, and we're making it at a young age now. Now we have the younger men having the children, and we have to guide them early. When you have your son, and then you're going to talk to your son, and your son is going to do this. These are things that you train them as they're growing up. As the Bible say, you train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it, and they won't steer. They always come back to the center. So it's very important for young men to have fathers in their lives, and that's my comment.
Thank you, man. You know what? I got Brother Suave. I'm getting ready to get in, so I'm getting ready to. Hold on a second. Okay,
I'm gonna just say this while you bringing in Brother Suave in there. You know what I mean? Because you dropped a lot of gems. What I've noticed with my experiences and people that I've talked to, and they allowed me to share their experiences. One was, why is it that we kick our kids out? Kick, and I say kick, you know what I mean, with the quotation marks, out at 18, 19. You see what I'm saying? Because when other cultures don't do that. They make sure that their children are prepared for the next stage. So I think a lot, just like a lot of dads out there, you know what I mean? I think a lot about my kids. And one of the things that's a consistent thought in my mind is, dang, is my kid ready right now if something happens to me? Is my children ready right now if something happens to me? Okay, what else do I need to teach them? And it's not like I'm beating myself up on a checklist of things I need to teach them. No. But in order for, I feel like, parents to really be able to help mold the child, I think transitioning plays a big portion in that. When I say transitioning, is because I'm gonna speak for myself as a dad. Sometimes I still see my kids as that 5-year-old snapshot. You see what I'm saying? My little princess or my little boy, and they're transitioning. And it's hard for some parents sometimes to transition with the child transitioning. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, we'll be afraid to let them do things because we still see them in a certain mindset. And then you'll see a lot of men out there right now, their parents still see them as that little kid. And it's hard for them to fully transition together with the parent because they're not transitioning all together with them. And it has to do a lot with culture also. Because growing up in Brooklyn, I told this story on my story, is I used to be a latchkey kid. Well, I ain't had no ice. I had the keys, you know what I mean, on my neck. And that was a responsibility in that culture. So now that I live in Georgia, they ain't really have no latchkey kids like that. You might have a key to the house, but it's not you walking home from school, you looking both ways across the street, you knowing how your spotted sense working, which is intuition and discernment. That guy looks creepy over there, or they're selling drugs over there. It's a drug transaction. So let me cross the street. So I just think it's transitioning in culture and environment altogether. Just adding on to what you said also, Queen V. You know what I mean? That's all.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, how's it going, Brother Suave? Glad to have you into the Cipher, brother.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you showed up. You showed up. That's all that matters.
Listen, I just had two back patients that had serious trauma back to back. That was 4 hours, so it was draining.
I'm sure it is, but we're glad you're here.
Listen, I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Let me see here. Probably because let me take my phone. Let me mute me.
Okay, so that sounds better. I was following up well, piggyback and just had to have a comment about, because you know how when we hear things, we hear a lot of the same things over and over, and I see a culture, but people forget about subcultures. You know, so when people say culture, and you can witness, when we always say, why do our culture do things the way we do? We can't always compare our culture to other cultures because we're a unique culture, because we were a culture that was taken from our land. So we had to improvise and do things differently. So because a lot of times we have been so behind, we have to, it's like we strategically to say there's nothing we can't do. But then when it comes to certain things, we say we're limited. And Pratt, I was from age 14 to 18, I didn't get anything from my parents. I was in a program by them saying you need to be prepared for the real world. So, and psychology called launching. So from age 14, 15, 16, and 17, between working, playing sports, going to school full time, it was required that I took care of my responsibility, manage my money, put gas in my car, and do those things. So by the time I get 18 and get ready to be launched properly, I will be like an adult. And so our development, it's just like if a person was experiencing rape, when the parents are actively supporting them and teaching them, that transition becomes much easier. And so that increases your ability to be mature and develop. You're not going to be perfect. But if people can go and leave home at 17 to go to the military and learn all this stuff and be independent, they can do it outside our homes. And those things are very possible. And I remember being that kid when we was in school. I had my own place at 19, and so the things, learned, because I already learned how to manage. I didn't get nobody bought my class ring. I bought everything myself because I learned how to save. I learned how to contribute to the house and got my own hygiene. So by the time I got 18, I was real grown, just young, not mature, not full like old, but I was legal and I was responsible. And you see, managing my classes, sports, working. So we can do that. And a lot of times we capable because there's nothing I feel that we can't do as a community. It's just that sometimes when we say other cultures, well, it's just like other cultures do things differently, but it works. And I think sometimes we can't really lower the standard when it comes to having a sense of responsibility, because when we teach people, they need to experience the opportunity to go out there. Like my younger cousin who graduated from Georgia State, he went away and it was a challenge, but he had to persevere. And then so as soon as he graduated, he got his own little apartment downtown Georgia, and he did 1 year lease, and now he's back home. And now he got a chance to experience what real world and real challenges are. So his parents allowed him to come back so he could save money to purchase his first house. And so the same thing, we can, we parent different once they get a certain age, but we're capable of doing it. We just have to just encourage them to understand that the money that they have, those discretionary spending, they're not going to have it like they had it when we was under, but they need to have a sense of responsibility. And we all know when they stay there, they don't always save because they always know that we're their backup plan. But when they have their own, they tend to be responsible. It's not that we're not nurturing. I just think that sometimes, it's always a pass to say, well, other cultures do it, why can't we? Well, other cultures, we have diabetes and we can't do like other people, And I didn't mean to talk so long, but we always, a lot of times we use that, and I just think about it. And I don't think it's nothing we can't do. We just got to cultivate our children because there's a real world out there. And we're not abandoning them. We're just reaching out. Like we all reaching out. We're not close to each other, all of us in different places, but we can reach out and communicate. And the same thing when our children go out, be independent. We can say, hey, you may want to tighten up on this. And then if they fall, they can't say we didn't tell them. And then they'll pick themselves up and they'll figure it out from there.
That was a great point. myself, I had my first child. She was born, I was 16. You know what I mean? He's turning 17. So my journey was a little bit different than others. I had my own apartment at 17 for my child and my girlfriend at the time, my wife, my ex-wife at the time. So I had my own place, but I wasn't allowed to stay there with them because I was staying with my stepmom and my dad. So I paid the bills there while she was transitioning, getting a job. So I understand that. What I'm more referring to is what I witnessed, maybe, you know, growing up in Brooklyn, where, you know, sometimes where they're like, I've heard this saying before, time is ticking. As soon as you graduate, you out of here, boy. You know what I mean? You out of here. But they're not prepared in the launching program like you described. You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad you put a name on it, because I never knew it was called launching. You know what I mean? I just know that my dad and my stepmom and my mother, the tribe that I had, you know what I mean? My dad motivated me to launch myself out to the point where, you know, I say like maybe a month or two before school was about to end at the 12th grade, you sit down with a guidance counselor. You remember that back in the day? And they say, okay, what you going to do? You going military, you going to college, or you going into work life? You know what I mean? I said, well, before we come out with any plans, ma'am, I remember she was a young guidance counselor new to the school. I said, can I get 3 certified letters from the school stating that all my academics for the state, the city, the municipal, everything, I'm above par, satisfactory or above, and my graduation requirements are done. She said, why? I said, well, I need one for my dad. I need one to send back to Brooklyn to my mom, and I need a copy for myself. Okay. And I took that paper that day and I put it on the kitchen table, the little island, with my dad's key. The taxi driver already knew me. He was already there. You see what I'm saying? I had my crap packed up. I didn't go to senior prom. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't walk. And I don't advise everybody to do that, because I was just talking to my daughter about that. She, you know, I'm like, hey, senior pictures is coming up. My other daughter was telling her, like, hey, senior pictures is coming up. I said, listen, this is your senior year. So however you want to make it, but I'm not going to go too much longer. But I left the key there, and I left 2 weeks earlier and moved officially to my apartment in Atlantic City. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we lived in the hood, but you know, it was my place. And I'm this last story. I tell my kids all the time, when I moved into my first place, we were just happy to have freaking carpet on the floor. We just had a mattress that was passed down, a playpen for our daughter. You see what I'm saying? And sheets on the window. And we lived in Atlantic City. We lived on the beach, on the boardwalk. And we were just so happy. The heater was in the bathroom. You know what I mean? It was kicking. You open that bathroom door, you know what I mean? It was coming through. But the whole point of this is, you know what I mean? We were just happy just to have something that we can just call ours. It was my key. You know what I mean? But going back to my original thing is, you know, I've witnessed people tell their kids, you getting out of here. I don't know where you're going, but you're getting out of here. And they've never been in the launching program. So they try to leapfrog and they just fall off the cliff.
That's our responsibility. Yeah. And so when I mentioned about the launching, you know, each year it got, the responsibilities was getting more. Like, for example, I knew that I had my gas money. I had to, you know, buy my wrestling shoes, buy my own schools, and save, be responsible, because hygiene. I remember my own ironing board. I remember everything in detail, and I had to be responsible with it, because back then, 1981, it was $3.35, and that's when the minimum wage went up. And I remember, I was getting paid $135 to $150 every 2 weeks, which was a lot of money back then, because Jordans was $62. Everything else was like $35. Corduroys, Levi's was like $18. So I was rocking them. The little Gator shirts were like $12. So I had all the colors, the Nikes, the Reeboks, the Kangos, you know, making $150 every 2 weeks, cause I was balling. You know, that was money. But although I was making the money, I had a responsibility. So I was required to pay my way and save and contribute, but also be responsible to get my own class ring and stuff like that. And so, and to show I needed to save money. You understand? And so each year the responsibility got more. So that's why, Frat, when we all met, that's why it seemed like I was that grown folks, because I had been doing the launching process for the 4 years. So that's how I teach my son, how it is nothing that I can do that they can't do. So you know how we talk about every generation is supposed to get better? So when I was learning Spanish and Creole, they was babies learning that. So everything I learned, they learned it. They just learned it earlier. And this is why we have to be able to, whatever we know, we teach our children. Don't hide anything from them. So they'll be way advanced. They'll make us look like what we learning now. It'll be like elementary to them. And so we have to launch. And I don't agree with that. Oh, you're gonna get out of here. They have to be prepared, but we can't last minute prepare them. We supposed to know this stuff when they're born. And sometimes I think we forget. They're not going to be at 18. It's just like child development. They're going to be a baby, then they're going to be a little taller, then they're going to be the little kid, and then they're going to be a teenager, a preteen, then a teen. And that's when they become young adults. And we have to really prepare them for the world. But if we're not thinking proactively, we fail them. So we can say when you get 18, it's time for you to go and have options. But this is the discussion that we have, because 12th grade is inevitable. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. You can't wait to the last minute to start parenting them and saying, it's just like right before we got on, I had to speak to my son because it was a priority to me. I had to speak to him, tell him I love him, because he called while I was in session. I said, hey, listen, I'll talk to you tomorrow, because I gotta do something, and I forgot about the show because of that, and I got behind it. I said, I gotta go. But I told him, study hard for the SAT and the ACT so you could be ready. And I've been telling him that for a minute now. And so he's prepared, and he gave me all the dates. But you have to you have to do things in advance, not at the last minute. And that's the launching process. So when we have our children, we know they're going to be in school. We know they're going to be in middle school. We got to start preparing them for not just fun, but that's why you do in little bits and pieces. 9th grade, a little sense of responsibility. You double it up. 10th grade, then you double it up. 11th grade, then you double it up. 12th grade. So they'll be really ready to deal with the real world, but not being perfect. But at least they have a sense of responsibility for the past 4 years. Just like getting a job. It's not the job, it's learning how to work, like getting proper rest, saving your money, being able, if you have to catch the bus, you got to know you got to get up way earlier. You know what I'm saying? You got to prepare your food because you can't just always buy. So it's a learning how to work, learning how to be an adult, not just thrown out there in the fire. And so again, that's what it's called, launching.
That is awesome, because I never knew it was called it, like I said, but I do that with my kids too. So my daughters, all my kids, they get up on their own. I get up also just to make sure they up. But my daughter was just now fixing some lunch for herself tomorrow for school. So when she go to school, she got lunch. You know what I mean? Because I tell them the same exact thing. And, what I heard was setting milestones and benchmarks for them. You see what I'm saying? Each level, each benchmark you reach, okay, we graduate to this benchmark, this milestone, next one now, until they reach the point where now they can spread them wings and just actually these work. Okay. Oh, snap. Look. Oh, I'm high. Okay. Oh, he said, keep going. So yeah, I totally agree. So what I would say is this, and I know you said some, you know what I mean? And I know we're going to reach millions of people because I already see this, let's just throw something out. At least one thing that a dad can do. And, I know his mom's watching also, that they can do even if they starting late, the child is 14, 15, 16. One thing they could do to start getting them on to the benchmark or the milestone or the launching program. I'm gonna call it the Suave launching program. You know what I mean? What's one thing you would throw out there?
I want to make sure before I respond, when you say the one thing I would throw out there, give me a little more, please.
It's like how to start on that path, I guess. You know what I mean? Because I guess for me, when I started with my kids, I started when they was like tall enough to reach the actual sink. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So for me, I started with packing the dishes up because they couldn't reach the sink, and we had like a little stepping stool. So they would step on the stool and they would, start rinsing first. I would show them how to wash, then they would rinse, and then, certain items is too big for them, their little fingers, they'll drop it, but, start off with little responsibilities.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm glad hold on. Some things get emotional for me because the thing is, I always was like, I taught my son at 8 years old because for me, the most essential thing is to be nourished, not to wash dishes. And so I started off teaching him how to cook for the purpose of survival. I talked to him through everything. So, because you know how one of the biggest things about parenting and sending your kids somewhere or them being home by themselves, because sometimes you could be a single parent and you have to learn how to maneuver, is making sure your children eat, not wash the dishes, not make their bed, but to eat. So it's almost like teaching them how to feed themselves. And so that was the very first thing I wanted to teach him, how to cook. And the very first thing was something simple, but some people may say it's not, but to me it was. I taught him how to cook fish and grits. And people are like, whoa, that's dangerous. That's Al Green. I'm like, well, I taught him how to cook fish and grits and and to be careful. And then I taught him how to grill, which is another, what people say, wait a minute, how? So again, everything I was able to do, he knew how to do. So by the time he was 10 years old, he cooking everything. You ever see them shows and see, sometimes we always sit there and you see some parents, oh, I got to wash I have to wash their clothes. Listen, you're not washing the clothes. So don't think because you're an adult, you can do it better than a child, because you're not doing it and the child's not doing it. You have to show them instructions about how to do it and put it in the machine. That child can do the same thing you can, but you know how sometimes they, oh, I got to watch. You don't have to do that. And when you have to understand teamwork, stop thinking you can do something better than that child when that child has the same capability. You see the shows where the children be cooking? They cooking good meals, real meals. And we got to stop in our brain putting limitations on ourselves and our children. A lot of projection and deflection and stuff like that we can't do that. And so the first thing I was teaching them, how to feed yourself. You understand? So I taught them, I didn't do the microwave stuff at all. I showed him how to cook. And one of the things he loved cooking was yams. You know how you have the potatoes and the sweet potato? I showed him how to cut them. And I remember he would boil it. And then I remember how I used to do them. And he would cut them and put them up. And then he put a little butter on it. And he would put shortcut. I used to bootleg, get a little syrup. And he would put it in there. And then he would let it simmer and it'd be so good and tasty. And that was one of his favorite things. And so, again, those little things are good meals without having our children eat on microwaves. And so the grill, think about grill. He did his grilled corn, all those things. And so he learned how to cook. You understand? And I think that was one of the first things to just start it. You know what I'm saying? The room was never, even when he was a baby, always pick up behind himself. So it was never a baby room. With toys everywhere? Never, because I always taught him at a very early age, pick up behind himself. Even when, how babies wake up and scream and cry and it wakes you up. But when you get a parent, you get that super instincts, because like I was a hard sleeper. But then when I became a parent, I can hear this, But I remember he used to scream when he cried, wake up. And the same way I talk, I didn't do baby talk to my son. I was like, son, you don't have to do that. I said, don't scream, waking me up, scaring me to death. I don't want to wake up dead. And he used to wake up. I said, and then I remember that beautiful smile. And because, again, it's they understand, but we just have to communicate. And it's not just communicate, but it's effective communication. And so those are things how you teach your children, but it starts early. We don't have to do that baby talk. That's terrible to me, in my opinion. But I know we do it, but I just never did that baby talk. And so teaching them how to cook is, I think, one of the first things that I would teach when it comes to teaching them a level of responsibility and survival skills.
That was excellent right there. You know what I mean? What I got from that overall, if I can just break it down, is getting them involved early. Partnership, getting them involved.
Oh, there I go. I hear you. Well, you know, for me, the one thing I didn't do that I can agree with you, Fred, is, and my wife can attest to this, I never taught baby talk to my kids. I would talk to them like they are grown, like we sitting here talking right now. And to this very day, all of them, you know, they they still have their own ways about doing things. You know, they're pretty mature, and you know, my goal, I mean, my journey was a little different than you guys. I mean, the thing about the independence and everything was there, but like I was just saying earlier, you know, I did come from an old school dad, and you know, and yeah, I had bills to pay. Of course, I had to stay working. No question asked about that. I mean, I started working when I was 7 years old, and I worked, I mean, every day with my dad, because he cleaned the public clinic, and at 7 years old I was down at the public clinic dumping trash out of the doctors' and offices and things like that. So you know, he got me involved early, and you know, I only can raise my kids the way I know how to be raised. So when I first met my wife, and she's like, "Why? Who you talking to?" You know, I was talking to the baby like that, and he, you know, he was a baby. You know what I'm saying? So I always talk to them in that manner, and like I was saying, as far as the expectations of being out at 17 and things like that, my dad was just different. You know, he just wanted you to do well. He wanted you to be prepared. He taught you all the characteristics and things that you needed for your personality, and discernment, and discipline was a huge part, because he was life military. I mean, he was a World War II veteran, Korean War veteran. So, and speaking of that, Frat, you and brother Chris right here, both of y'all are Marines. If we didn't bring that up on the last conversation.
Number 5.
So, but I knew that I was going to bring something, but yeah, I just went a different route, you know, and then I moved here. As a young man, I moved here at 18. But the good thing about it was that during that whole time that I was at home, I paid bills in the house as well. He gave me some utilities to pay, but I got a chance to save my money, and I paid my way through school. I bought my own books. I paid my own tuition, you know, and of course, when I came here, things kind of was different. And, you know, along with working in a little bit of hustle, you know, I was able to make sure that I got everything met. But yeah, man, and definitely when it comes down to those kids, it is a launching program. Even when I was a kid, I mean, I had older siblings, and when my aunt, I was raised with my aunt and my uncles like brothers and sisters, because I was raised by my grandfather. So when my aunt or my brother or my uncle was washing dishes, I was standing in a chair drying dishes, because I was taught, you better not break that glass, because that glass ain't the only thing that's gonna get broke. You know, so I mean, sometimes it was just that hard love. It wasn't nothing it didn't make me fear. I think the fear that I had for my dad was the respect. Like I said, he's the only living man that ever created fear in my heart, like the next thing to the creator to me, because he was just that kind of man. But he was loving. He was old school, though. He wasn't that guy that he'll tell you, I love you, son. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, you know, and he will give you that hug. But, you know, he was old school, you know, and they had to be that way. That's just the way it was. But I do agree that you should get kids started early. And not only that, I think that another thing is that for some reason, there's this sentiment that males shouldn't have domestic skills. Because I've met a lot of young men. I've met a lot of old men that don't have no domestic skills. They don't know how to wash the clothes properly. They don't know how to fold them up. They don't know how to iron them even. You know what I'm saying? They can't cook. They can't even boil eggs without burning them. You know, and I mean, simple stuff. And you know, I think that our sons having those domestic skills benefits them, because you are going to have a time and expand in most of the time where you're going to be when you're going to be single and you're going to step out on your own. You need to know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to wash clothes properly. You should know how to fold your clothes. You should know how to cook. And definitely, I mean, that goes across the board with the domestic skills thing, because it seems like our young females and our young males, they're not too astute when it comes down to getting in that kitchen, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I do believe that you should start them young. They're very intelligent. These kids now, especially these kids, are super intelligent. I mean, what they know now at the age of 8, shit, we didn't find that out until we was like 16. You know what I'm saying? For real, because they got this technology. Man, they can ask any question they could ever dream of to Google and get the answer. Anything. They got the answer to every question in existence in their pockets. And they will go to Google. If you ask them a question, they will go straight to Google to get the answer. But that's the one thing that Google can't teach them is life experiences, and that's where us as parents, and and it takes a village, so that's where that comes in, and that's where that personal touch and that relationship comes in to make sure that to get them to make sure that we can give them the right blueprint, or as much of the blueprint as we can, to make it through this map called life. So yeah, I agree with you guys, though, as far as the younger kids and not treating them like babies in that baby talk. Like I said, when I met my wife, she was asking me, why you talking to them like that, But yeah, we had that experience, right? But it is Friday Eve, so I'm gonna make this a tradition. I'm gonna shoot a salute to everybody. Salutations, and I hope everybody had a good week. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this shot. I'm gonna make this a tradition before every show. At the beginning of every show, I'm gonna give you guys a shot. It is Friday Eve. Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers. But Miss V, Smart Black Woman TV. Oh yeah, we were just talking about. You know what? Let me take a station identification right quick. Let me make sure I can get it right. All right, now we're back. Let's close up the gaps. There we go. But yeah, I want to say again, thank everybody for coming into the Cipher. I'm feeling this, even though I know that we trying to put it together and build this thing. Again, Father to Six, I want to welcome you back, man. Thanks for coming back in. You're part of the team now, so we're gonna have to bring it on. We're gonna have to bring it on, brother Suave. It's always suavalicious. Suave-tastic. Having you in the spot. Queen V. Glad that you're here. Showing your face. Starting to make your ground and build your ground here. But let's move on to another topic that we may have. What is it, y'all? What are we talking about here? I know we got one more in us. One more. We got one more good one in us because that was a good long one there. We got to go back over that one. You know, we're gonna always have to keep us a some type of parenting segment or something in this joint. I really like that because the thing is that I'll say maybe like 6 years ago. I was having a serious conversation with a nonprofit group about having parenting classes, and it was no insult to a parent. It wasn't that. I just feel that it's certain characteristics of being a parent that is not as strong as it used to be, and I believe that it's some things that we need to reinstill and to reinforce and to actually bring back up. As far as parenting is concerned, I think that a lack of discipline is a huge part of things, and of course that comes to parenting, especially when it comes down to the kids. I mean, the kid is reflective of the household most of the time, right, Brother Suave? I would think. Yeah, so yeah, that's something. So that's why I like the parenting. I like the parenting component. I really appreciate you for that, Father 6. Then I got my brother back here. Like I say, it might not be therapy. It might not be therapy, but it's damn show therapeutic. Here we go. So absolutely. Your week was all right though, Brother Suave. How was your week?
My week was absolutely amazing. Again, I enjoy my life. I think it's an incredible life because I'm able to do what I say billions wish they can do, to be flexible, do what I want on my own terms. I get a chance to help people from a social, spiritual, and clinical perspective. I get a chance to do certain things that people don't get a chance to do, learn, do research, and I enjoy it. I have my products. If I want to sell on that day, I do. If I don't worry about it. I see my mental health patients. I see my coaching students. I am closing out on between stopping school backwards and forward. I closing out this last year on this another doctorate program, and it's just learning a lot. I've been doing some more training in trauma, and just enjoying it. So I think I had a great week. When I'm appreciative to waking up to see another day that I never ever seen before. So I'm grateful that, God, the creator, wakes me up and see a day I never seen before, but also another opportunity to get it right for my wrongdoings, my indiscretions, some karmas that I have to pay back. Is an opportunity to go back, apologize to people, go back to make amends, because again, I always tell people, you're not going to always have that chance to say you're sorry, say you love them, and to make amends. So try not to take things and people for granted. Earlier, I think this week, I got a inbox saying, what would I do if I couldn't be told or hear somebody say they love me? And I said, the post sounded good, but I'm critical about certain things because I didn't hear you say you love me. I got a recycled post saying this, but the same time you took the energy to do that, I would feel more honored by taking a 2-second call saying, hey, I love you. I'm happy, this and that, and I hope it is. And then say, I don't have time to talk, but I just want you to hear my voice. But don't inbox me saying some things, because sometimes people see the way it is. Sometimes people accept very minimum effort. For me, I think I'm worthy of getting a little more effort, And so for me, I just enjoy every day, man. Look what we doing. Look what we doing right now. We on a platform that's unique in comparison to all the venting platforms and all the stuff. Man, we got another but positive vibe Cipher up in this joint, and it's like it's Suave amazing. And I like it, man. And that's why I always tell you, man, brilliance. Why they call you brilliance? You know what I'm saying? And man, it's great. And the thing is, we have real good energy and vibes. It ain't no bumping heads up in this piece. You got everybody who have humble hearts, humble spirits, And this is why I think that when we cultivate and embrace with like-minded people, is always mutual betterment. And that's all we try and do: better ourselves, better our families, better our communities. And so, I mean, listen, that's why I say, when people ask me, was your day all right? Was your day good? And I say no. And they consistently say, what's wrong? I say, not wrong. I just don't do good. I don't do all right. I do suave amazing, or I do great, but excellent at a minimum. So even at my worst, excellent is always better than good and all right. I just understand about elevation. We've been hearing good for too long. Good morning, good afternoon, man. It's great morning, great afternoon. For my own personalized things, I use some of my Suavacon words, but I ain't gonna use good and all right. I ain't using that average because I ain't average, and I don't think nobody on this platform average. Don't let confidence and loving yourself get mixed up with arrogance. You feel me?
Brother Suave, you couldn't say that better. That was awesome because, those last few weeks, I kind of, with me, I kind of do a theme thing with my kids. And the theme that we're working on, or we're participating in, engaging in right now is, today is a wonderful day. Tomorrow's a wonderful day. We no lie. We was in the kitchen, our eating area, chanting, today is a wonderful day. Tomorrow's a wonderful day. And it's so funny. I was telling my daughter, my 16-year-old, I was like, listen, you have the power to shift energy. Okay. I said, let me explain it to you. I said, when little man get upset, you know what I mean? He might fall or hit his arm or something like that. And be like, you all right, big boy? You a big boy, right? You all right, right? Right? And me not saying, oh, does that hurt? That's the energy I'm giving him to cry. So, two of my kids actually, it happened on Saturday. Two of my kids had something happen to them. They had some bad news or whatever. One of them seen a grade and it was like, this can't be it. You know what I mean? This is not the grade I earned. And, just kind of bring them down. So I went in their room. I'm like, listen, you know what I mean? You know what you did. All we got to do is shoot an email. It's the weekend. It's probably an error. But right now, there's nothing we can do right now, right? But what we can do is have a wonderful day. Because today is a wonderful day. And so open these blinds up. I said, wonderful days don't look dark and gloomy. Open these blinds up. So we opened the blinds up, light coming. I said, this is what wonderful look like. Let me hear it. Today is no. Let me hear it. And we both started chanting it. Within minutes, she went from low vibration, not to normal vibration, but back to higher vibration. You see what I'm saying? That's shifting the environment. So, like you said, using different words than good, you know what I mean? Okay. My kids already know I don't want to hear no good or okay. I want details. You know what I mean? And then I tell them, wonderful day. What does a wonderful day look like? It's something that you can make happen. You see what I'm saying? With your attitude. You see what I'm saying? And it's not that something bad happens. I call it a challenge. A challenge is something you have to work to get past. It don't mean that it's, for instance, I had to teach my son kindergarten today. If you can see in the background, I got his little chair right there. You know what I mean? And it was challenging with him writing and stuff because he was right, where is that? Right there. His little chair right there. We was doing school today. Kindergarten. You know what I mean? Then we went outside for recess. He was running around. You know what I mean? But yeah, it wasn't hard. Yeah, it was a little challenging, but it wasn't hard. But I think just shifting the energy. And like you said, by the words you use, I call it the word bank. What's in your word bank? Can you use anything different than what you've always been using? So I agree with you on that, Brother Suave. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm not getting you over there.
There I go, right there. But this time flies by so much and so quickly. But we gonna give everybody opportunity to go ahead and sum everything up. Just go ahead and say what you plan on doing for the remaining of the weekend, because it's a weekend coming up, and then we got Labor Day coming up. So we got some things going on, y'all. We got some things going on. So so Brother Father the 6, Brother Father 26.
I'm glad you asked. So this weekend we're doing a family trip. You know what I mean? It's me and the kids. We going to the art museum in Atlanta, in Georgia. I'm not sure if it's in Atlanta or not, but I'll get the address. So we talked about it the other day. We're going to that, and if the weather permits, we're going to go to Tacoma Falls. It's like a little waterfall place, and I just want to get their eyes used to seeing different things. So that way they're not afraid to explore. Growing up in Brooklyn, a lot of people that live in the city don't even leave the boroughs, much less the entire city. You know what I mean? So being in the military, in the Marine Corps, had to shout that out. It gave me an opportunity to explore. You see what I'm saying? And not just to other countries, but be independent, because there's expectations and benchmarks. And Brother Suave, I want to thank you for your service, because it's men and women like you that came before us, that paved the way. You see what I'm saying? And not just in the military service, but everybody. You know what I mean? Miss V, thank you. Brother Sheldon, thank you for paving the way, because I have no clue what y'all went through for us to be where we at. And the same thing for our kids. So I want to pay homage, reverence, and respect to all of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Brother Suave. What's on the agenda, man? What's on the agenda? You always shifting gears. What's on the agenda?
Well, the agenda is packing. We're hitting the road on Tuesday, head to the Midwest. So that's what I'm going to be doing. May take me a couple of lunch breaks. Other than that, it's going to be getting myself packed and ready to go. I got my trunk on full, so I got to get the truck on, I think, Saturday or Sunday, one of those days, or Monday, I forgot. But that's what I'm going to be doing on the weekend. When is Labor Day? I don't even know, man. Is that Monday or something?
It's next Monday, I believe. I think it's next Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we get lost in the sauce of these holidays, man. They come up so fast. You know how it works. Shoot, Thanksgiving gonna be here in a minute, man. We got to go ahead and get ready to get them turkeys knocked down.
but I'm happy. Got a chance to come. I'm loving the energy, man, and it's growing, man. It's growing, and I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys, man. I love it. I love the dialogue. I love the vibe, the energy. It's you spoke this stuff into existence. And one thing I didn't know, brother was in the Corps, nor did I know he was in this city. I didn't know that.
See, I got work. See, got the creative do it in a different way, don't he?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I great minds with great places, and that's where we going. We're reaching great places up in this piece.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Queen V, what's your weekend looking like? What's your plans? What are you doing?
Just chilling. Been a long work week. Transitions I've made in my I guess employment choice. I'll be starting with a new company starting after Labor Day. I want to bring that up, being one of the topics that I'll bring up just during this pandemic, I guess, and working and in the workforce and the different communications that we're getting now when it comes to people paying attention and want to work, and what type of people you're working around, and all the mental, I guess I would call it the mental distractions that are going on right now. And as we were saying, you want to kind of bring people down from that those angers that they're dealing with. And I try, and every day I work currently in a very hostile environment. Everybody is in uproar. And I was talking to a coworker of mine and just letting her know, you're so angry, and she's expressing it and it's coming out, and you feel that energy coming off of her. And I said, you don't have to take it in, because the body is taking in all that pressure, and your brain is all pressured, and you're all upset. Don't take it in, just let it remain outside of you. And speak calmly. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge within yourself to try to do that when people are in an uproar. So me making the transition is because so many people are going through, this, and I think it's needed now. I think it's more so needed now in the workforce, where they do need therapy, in the workplace, because people are very upset and hostile, and anything happens, they're mad and they're loud and they're talking at each other and not to each other. So I try to be a little bit more calm, and keep that pressure from entering inside of me, where I can feel it. I keep myself inside calm because I want my body to naturally, I want to naturally age with my body. I don't want to take my body through these very hard strains of pressure and screaming and anger, because that tend to affect you in the long run. So I'm kind of excited. I don't know where what I'm entering into, because right now in my age, I just want to be more relaxed. Working. I'm an accountant. I've been in construction accounting for many years, and of course, construction has always been very fast paced, very hostile environments. But you don't have to be the one to be, you know, on that road of being hostile with everyone else. So I try to keep a level of self control. And I think we all need that. We need that at home as well, with our children, and how we embrace each other and how we speak to one another. It doesn't take an argument, to get your point across. Just try to speak calmly, and not allow it to enter into where your heart starts to beat fast. I try to keep it calm, and I think that works out for me. And I've been better. I've been feeling a lot better for that. So I did make a transition. I'm very excited about it. As I say, I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I am. Okay, in my own space, I know where I am. So I spoke to the new owners of new company I'll be with. I told them I'm looking for a place where I can maintain and stay there, into retirement, if I get, go that far. But I said, if this doesn't work out, I'm going TikTok on you. Okay. I'm going to go TikTok. So just saying that, you guys have a wonderful weekend. It was so nice being on set with you today, and enjoy your families. I enjoyed listening to your you being fathers and what you're doing with the children and directing and guiding these young men. We need that in our lives, as women. Very strong, powerful men. The young ladies are going to need very strong men that have that family setting, and know how to carry on family structures. And this is something that's really been broken in our communities. So, we just uplift our communities as much as we possibly can. Share your love, to everyone. Be the one that you are. Never change because you're in a bad situation with others. Continue to be who you are, and keep your spirits up. Always laugh, and I think will last. Will last around here to kind of help others. In this platform, we're going to share our feelings and our thoughts, and hopefully we get a lot more people like us. And I'm sure we will.
And just to keep mine brief and to the point, I'm just here building branding and broadcasting. That's just how it is. Like I sent you the email, Brother Suave. You see, I got us cross posting on 20 pages on Facebook. So I'm just trying to spread our hustle and make our footprint a lot larger. So I'm just building. I gotta come to Georgia and get me a studio, because that's the Black Hollywood of the South. So gotta make it work. But everybody, thank you so much for coming. I'm always humbled by you guys. Let's keep building, man, and just you guys remain well. Continue to love. You're gonna get love back all day. And again, thanks for rolling with us. We're just here to build, everybody. So Godspeed. Remain well. Oh, this is my camera angle right here because my other one cut off. Godspeed. Remain well. And we'll catch up next week, y'all. So let me shut it down. Okay, here we go.